Jump off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome. You are tuned into Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show on NBC News, CNBC News, and NBC Sports Radio Station, KCAA, home to the Asian Oprah, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, TuneIn, Audible, Amazon Music, Tiki Live, Rumble, GeoSun, Podchaser, iTunes, TuneIn, and more. This first show in my 11th year. And I am so grateful and happy that you're still here. We're still going. And you can see from my guest in studio, it is Tuesday. It is my fabulous fitness expert, guru, in-house specialist for all needs, health, and wellness, Beth-Linder. Welcome back to the studio. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I got you to get up 2 mornings. Or no, you don't get up early. You're East Coast, so this is like no problemo.
Like for me, it was like more of the middle of my day, right? Like
true. I know, because you get up early. Let's just jump right into breakfast so we can talk about some stuff and frame it in the most positive way, called Breakfast with Dr. Marissa, and step into your best life co-host,
Beth-Linder.
It's funny, when I post the story right before the show, it suggests music. And guess what the song was? I actually screenshotted it so I could show you later, but I'll forget. So I'll just tell you now. The song was, wait for it.
Waiting.
Living My Best Life. Is that crazy? And yesterday was Happy Girl. So the AI on my social is getting smarter and smarter. But so that's what I'm grateful for, my first gratitude. And what we're doing is having breakfast with us means I start almost every show with gratitude. And gratitude, top of the bun, is 8 gratitudes, 8 things outside of yourself that you're grateful for. So feel free to play along. I see eyeballs coming in the studio, which means the technology that allows us to stream not only if you're driving, you can't see me. Don't try to look. You're on AM or FM. Thank you for making me the number 1 8 a.m. talk show, by the way, in the IE. And Bill Handel, I'm coming to get you in Southern California, number 2 there. But if you are stationary right now, and I'm not talking about a stoplight, when you get landed, go and stream at my YouTube channel. Hit free subscribe. You'll get an alert every 8 a.m. morning after the NBC News at the top of the hour, so that you can watch and listen. And you can see, if you write something, I'll put it on the screen. So I'm grateful for technology. I'm grateful for AI songs that are suggested. That's 2. You do too?
Okay. I am grateful that I was able to pop on yesterday for a few minutes to wish you a very happy 11 years. That was fun. I'm glad I got on for a few minutes. And I too am going to say technology, thank gosh, it's like helps me so much, like every single day. So I'm going to say I'm totally grateful for the technology as well, because that way I get to see you while we are talking, instead of just trying to talk to each other, like, over like the phone almost kind of thing. Right.
Yeah, for sure. I'm grateful that through this thing called COVID, we've learned new skills. As a motivational speaker, I've learned how to talk without having faces that I can see that I'm talking to. So I have to affirm myself. And I also learned how not to be distracted by the scrolling chat to the side and keep my place as I'm speaking. So that's two more. Two more from you.
Oh, I'm going to go with that. I have learned Zoom so well. Oh my goodness. It has saved like businesses like in the fitness field. Oh my goodness. So I'm going to go with that too, because I've learned how to do Zoom, and I teach classes that are like in studio, on outside, and Zoom all at the very same time. So it doesn't matter if you're in your home, if you don't want to come inside and you want to be outside, or if you want to be in a studio or in your home. I am able to teach all to everybody at the same time. And I've become very good with that, and play music at the same time.
There you go. There you go. Hashtag COVID silver lining is what
There
I
you
call
go.
those. And that's the top of the bun. Welcome. I see more eyeballs coming in. Thank you for free subscribing on my YouTube channel where you can watch and listen. And we are doing we're having a bite of my gratitude sandwich. We're now at the bottom of the bun. The bottom of the bun is things inside yourself that you are grateful for, also known as appreciation. What do you appreciate about yourself? What do you like about yourself? And I believe that is the foundation of good mental health. If you cannot approve or soothe or talk yourself down the ceiling, then you are going to go crazy. So that's the muscle that we're exercising with this particular exercise for your mind, to highlight those things that you approve of yourself. So I approve, or I appreciate that I have a creative eye. So I love picking out fun, colorful, or coordinated, or fashionista clothes. And I appreciate that about myself.
I'm going to appreciate that it's going to sound crazy, but I have curly hair, because today I did not have a lot of time. So I took a shower, and here I am, and I can have curly hair. I can have straight hair. So I can just kind of go with the flow really fast. So I appreciate my curls.
I love that. I love that. I appreciate that I can pretty much go with 5 hours of sleep. And that is my, my what I need. And that gives me 3 extra hours than those people who follow the 8 rule. I'm not advocating less, but for me, it works, and it gives me 3 extra hours to do all the things that I love to do.
All right. I appreciate that about myself is that I think Sam, what's funny, actually kind of funny, when Sam was talking about it a lot, I don't need a lot of makeup and prep time. So I appreciate that. I guess I'm okay with like my au natural look, because I really don't use a lot of makeup. And so I can, just be okay with looking like me without a lot of stuff to myself. So
that's a good one. I was just thinking and talking about that yesterday. I appreciate that I have makeup. My younger daughter got me hooked on Love Island, this silly series.
Oh
right?
my God, I watch it.
Oh, do you do too? I mean, it's almost embarrassing to say because I don't have a TV, and I've never watched The Bachelor, never watched all those things. And she, we wanted some way. She lives in San Francisco, so I don't get to see her very often. So we thought, well, let's stream something together, and then we can, talk about it. So she suggested that, and one of the guys in season 1 said something about, you have to really choose carefully because, once that makeup's off. And I'm thinking, because I just started dating, right? First, I tried speed dating for the first time last Friday.
Oh, wow.
And it's the same thing where, you want to look like yourself, but you don't want to look too good, because if that makeup ever comes like, I haven't had to think about that for 5 years, 4 weeks, 3 months, 2 weeks and a day, but who's counting? So just, if I'm getting my body to the point where I won't embarrass myself if some clothes come off. That's been my goal. Love my body project 4.0. So things to think about. But I appreciate that I'm becoming easier of a critic of my youthing or my agelessness, and that those modeling pictures are wonderful to have, and I will never look like that naturally. I could probably do some surgery or Botox or whatever, but I'm not going to. And I appreciate that I'm finally getting to the place where I am good au naturel with makeup. Last appreciation from you, Beth.
I'm going to kind of go with what you were kind of saying before, and I appreciate my age. Actually, I really don't care how old I am. My age doesn't bother me. When I turned 53 this year, I am like, bring it on. This is great. I am more confident now than I was ever before. I'm more positive now than I ever was. So I'm okay with it. So getting older for me and saying what my age is, it doesn't bother me. So I appreciate that about myself.
Yay. I'm going to give you some applause, because being comfortable in your own skin, I think, is also another foundation for happiness. So for sure. Yay. All right. And now that is it for Breakfast with Dr. Marissa and
Beth-Linder
on our Tuesday special series called Step Up into Your Best Life. And today's topic is a great one. Beth suggested this, and just because it is the topic, I did get on the scale today. It's called To Weigh or Not to Weigh, To Scale or Not to Scale. Is your bathroom scale your friend or foe? Is it a good thing to weigh yourself? How often should you weigh yourself? Should you weigh yourself at all? And all of that stuff. I am happy that we have Beth. I didn't read her bio this time. I think that y'all are starting to know exactly who she is, but just to remind you, she is the author of an Amazon bestselling book, Think Healthy, Be Healthy. And we do have a winner from 2 weeks ago's Asian Oprah giveaway. And, my memory, but I think it's Veronica. And we're going to get you that book.
Absolutely.
And she, Beth hosts two weekly national syndicated podcasts. Ms. Linder Moss is a certified health and wellness coach, certified personal and group fitness trainer, certified sports nutritionist, and an exercise physiologist. Having earned her Bachelor of Science from Penn State, she's helped thousands take positive steps in their journey to a healthier life through the written word, social media, one-on-one training, and group sessions. And that is who is in studio with me today. And let's just jump into that topic. So we'll start easy. How important is weighing yourself on the scale? On a scale of 1 to 10.
So there's so many things about weighing yourself. So it always is obviously good to have a baseline, but so you need a baseline when you go to the doctor, right? And that kind of stuff, like what your BMI is, body mass index, things like that. But is it okay to weigh yourself daily is more what I think that we really need to get into. So I think it's a lot to do with personality. You got to know yourself before, if you can or you can't do that. And there's so much more to your weight than that number on the scale. And I think that's what a lot of people really need to understand, is that number on the scale is not everything. Now, yes, it's going to help us to make sure that we are in the proper range that we should be for our height and weight. But to be obsessed with it sometimes can go in good directions and bad directions, right? So if you weigh yourself daily, sometimes people will get super obsessed with it and like they won't continue to eat the calories that you're supposed to eat and get in the things that you're supposed to get in. So when you're doing, like when you're weighing yourself and you drink a glass of water, your weight's going to go up, right? Because I just put in some ounces of water. It's like those are the things that you need to remember, that your weight completely fluctuates all the time. It can fluctuate obviously from morning to night. You know, you weigh more at night than you do when you first wake up in the morning. So the time of day that you weigh yourself, that also is something that you have to think about. But there's some pros and cons to.
Okay, before we go on the pros and cons, let's go back and just anchor some of the things that you've said, because I absolutely agree with the first thing you said around personality. Because if you're like my example, perfect example, when I started trying to lose weight, I actually went to OA, Overeaters Anonymous, or a version of it. And because I was, okay, I'm serious now, I'm going to go. And their program was not cutting things out. Their program was, you're not allowed to diet. So I was like, oh, that's kind of cool, because I've been dieting my whole life, weighing in my whole life, that this is actually, you're not allowed to diet, you're not allowed to restrict. And the thinking is that that is something that keeps you on that roller coaster of weight loss, weight gain. Made sense, right? So no weighing, throw away your bathroom scale, throw away all this stuff. After 6 months, I gained 10 pounds. So obviously it wasn't working for me, because my personality is, when I am allowed to, like, if I don't say, you know, I have 88% less flour, or do intermittent dieting, so I don't eat past, you know, that 12 to 8 window, and I do weigh myself in to reward or encourage myself to do better, I gained 10 pounds, because
Right.
I didn't have that anchor to curb myself, right? Curb my
I
enthusiasm.
think that there has to be a balance. And well, first of all, you have to, like I said, you have to know your personality. Personality is, if I get on the scale every single day, my personality would be an obsession with it. And if it went up 0.1, I personally would be upset, right? But if you weigh yourself maybe once a week or maybe once a month, to make sure that you're where you should be, give yourself like, you know, a couple pounds up and down, make sure you're where you should be, not going up the 10 pounds, right? You know, that works better for me than to get on that scale and be obsessed with it. And then when I get obsessed with it and I maybe gain that 0.1, right? Or if you're that kind of person that feels the same way that I do, gain that 0.1, right? Maybe that is then going to it's going to impact the way I look at myself, and my positiveness, and my, you know, physical and mental health issues are going to not, you know, it's going to change. So sometimes you need to know yourself. Like, I personally don't weigh myself all the time.
How often do you weigh yourself?
I probably weigh myself like probably once a month.
Once a month? Okay.
Yeah. I like to make sure that, yes, I am there, but like there's other ways to tell if I'm still like right where I should be. My clothes. So my clothes fitting the right way. You can do body measurements, or my body measurements is my stomach, my hips, where people gain the weight, right? A lot of people gain the weight right in their belly, or maybe in their hips. If you're an apple, or, you know, there's an apple in the pear, different shapes and things like that, where you gain the weight. You know, you can measure it in like different ways. It's also, how do I feel? Am I feeling sluggish? Have I been, okay, maybe this past week, maybe you should get on the scale because you went on vacation and you totally like decided to enjoy yourself, right? Which is fine. And then you come back and say, okay, so I gained the 3 pounds. I'm going to lose it. But you also understand that those 3 pounds come off a lot faster also because you just put them on, they come right off. So it's just like, so I have a kind of personality where I am like, I could get obsessed with things, right? Not obsessed with people, but like, right? I'm more
and the flip side is that obsession is part of your discipline, or what I call my blisscipline, right? You're able to focus on things and get things done. So like you said, balance. I remember when I went to Canada and had those butter tarts. And when I came back, I'd gained like 5 or 6 pounds. And that's why it's Love My Body Project 4.0. So every time I go up a bit, I don't say, oh, well, I'm going to give up. Is I just get right back on another version of this Love My Body Project 4.0. And let me just be clear. I do weigh myself every day with a little asterisk. Like yesterday, I was at mom and dad's and finished off their 73rd wedding anniversary cake that I had brought 3 days prior. And so this morning, I did not weigh myself because I knew that I probably gained some weight. And if I had gotten on the scale, I know myself well enough that I would have berated myself. Why did you have that? But I consciously really enjoyed that Whole Foods Chantilly cake that, it was really good. And I am happy that I chose to have it. And now I know that, today I might do a little more on the cardio or all of that. And, I did my weights already this morning. So I feel I did the best that I could. So if you know that you give yourself a little grace, right? 18% of the time or 12% of the time, I'm just not going to do the best, which is okay. So 12% of the time I don't get on. But if I have been good in my blisscipline, then I do get on. And if it is lower, I'm like, yeah, I'm so excited. And that energy again reinforces me at a girl. That's the best reward. I don't tell anybody, oh, I lost it, but I put it in my calendar and my smart buddy, my best friend here. And if you put down woohoo or Yahoo, you'll see all the times that I lost. But then if I have gained, I don't beat myself up as much as I used to. And certainly not in that. I'm not going to have a bad day if I gained a pound because I do know.
But many people do. Like I personally am at the point now where I wouldn't have a bad day and I understand it. Like in a long time ago when I first was like weighing myself all the time, now I really don't care. Now it is what it is. And
is that you or me?
That was me. Sorry.
Okay. That's okay.
That was my son calling. Hi, Ethan.
Hi, son.
Like I'm not now. I don't really care about the number. Like the number means nothing to me anymore. I weigh myself now once a month just to see that I'm in the same range that I wanted to be in. The number means absolutely nothing to me. And if people were to ask me right now, like I weigh probably more than most people would think. I have a lot of muscle on me, and it's different. So it did take time. I'm not going to lie. It took time when I was younger to like accept that kind of stuff. So for me, the number now means absolutely nothing. I
think that's a great point. Great point.
Like, I do, like I said, like I was obsessed. I'm not obsessed now. I really don't care if it goes up and down and whatever. I would care if I went up, 10 pounds. That would be a problem, but I really, honestly, I've been the same weight for a really long time, forever. Like I've been at this weight for a really long time. I've been wearing the same size forever, and
you work at it. So there is a discipline in there. It's not a magic just because, she's always going to be thin or all of that. And I think that's a point that even though you're not advocating getting on the scale that often, that there is still, and let me put the moose on the table. So for women who are trying to youthing or as you age, there's a balance between saying, I've had 2 kids and you should love me anyways because I am just naturally gaining weight and I am a perfect example of that. 2 hip replacements, 2 kids. And you thing, opposite of you thing, and I put on, I think 40. I don't want to use the number, but I put on since, let's see, 14 years ago. I probably was okay. So 40 pounds, a little over 40 pounds. It is. I didn't gain it all in 1 year. 5 pounds for one hip replacement, 5 pounds for another, and then so on. And it's very easy to soothe myself and say, well, that's just my natural body size. That's just the way I'm supposed to look. And I'm not going to get on the scale anymore because the number doesn't matter. That's an extreme that gets you to the place where you don't like how you look and you get defensive. If people say, wow, if you gain some weight or, COVID-19, a lot of people don't look like they used to. It was 19 pounds ago. So there's a balance around,
right,
a little ease and grace, but not too much ease and grace where you just let yourself go.
Right. I mean, like, there's people that say to me all the time, like, oh my God, well, I have, like you said, I have 2 kids, I have this, I have that. Well, I have 3 kids. I had a set of twins and I was able to get back. Now, did it take me work? Of course it took work. I still work at it. Like you said, every single day. I watch what I eat. I exercise. Do you get to enjoy life? Of course you get to enjoy life. It's all about balance. Everything is the balance. The same thing with the scale. It's the balance, whether you also have to know your personality. You can get on the scale every day. I wouldn't get on the scale in the past. Now, like I said, I really don't care. But in the past, I know what my personality was. And now I've overcome that part of it. And the number means nothing to me because I am happy with how strong I am, that I can run and I could do this. I could do all of the activities that I want to do. And I have the strength, the endurance and everything that goes along with it. So like, there's so many other measures to it as well. So the number is a good guide for you. So obviously if somebody is at a point where you actually need to lose those 40 pounds because it's unhealthy to be at those 40 pounds, and you shouldn't be carrying it around anymore, you should be getting on the scale, like I'm saying, but just don't get on the scale daily if you know it's going to bother you. If it's going to bother you, that means that it's just going to keep self-sabotaging yourself. You're going to see that number and you're like, well, if I'm just going to go up and I'm watching myself, then I'm just going to have that tub of ice cream. Screw it. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
that all or nothing, fork it, why bother? That's unhealthy for sure. Okay. So the way your clothes fit, the number is a little, but not a lot. Your ability to have stamina, to how your clothes fit, what you're able to do. What about BMI? So I've heard that is not very accurate because according to BMI, The Rock would be obese or The Rock would be overweight. Yeah. And when I told people that I was in the overweight category, they said that's ridiculous because you don't look like you're overweight. Right. So talk to me about BMI.
So the BMI is body mass index. And it is like a guide. I think that it's a guide used for the doctors to make sure that your height and weight match within the right zone that you should be in. Now, it is not the best tool out there for sure, because like The Rock, he has a lot of muscle. So his weight, he's a little more dense. Like a pound is a pound, right? A pound of weight and a pound of fat, a pound is a pound. But the amount that it takes up and how we like in the same amount of space that you would have like a pound of fat versus a pound of weight, your spacing is differently. So he has an awful lot of muscle. Love him. I hope he's listening right now.
I know, right? I'm
a super fan. You happen to bring him up. He's like, oh my gosh. But anyway,
I would not kick him out of bed for eating crackers for sure.
if he's listening, oh my God, that would be amazing. But yes, so the body mass index is only a guide. For a lot of the doctors say they just use it as a guide. Sometimes you need to then know the person who they're using the guide for. Like The Rock is not going to be, because he's going to be considered morbidly obese, right? Which he's obviously not. But for somebody who is not necessarily exercising as much and is more of a couch potato, or exercises a little bit but doesn't have all that muscle, it is definitely going to be more accurate. It is a guide for sure. It is definitely not the best tool out there. Doctors will say the same thing. We say the same thing, like exercise physiologists, we say the same thing. If you could get your body fat done, that's how you could tell, but most people aren't going to get the most accurate body fat, because if you stand on one of those body fat scales, those aren't so accurate. Depends. If I drank some water before I went on, I'm going to end up with a different number than if I just went to the bathroom before I went on. So it's definitely not the most accurate. But all of these are like guides. So if you're using the same scale all the time, then you will know that that's where you are. And that's keep going. But the BMI, because of the fact of like someone like The Rock, who's very, muscular and stuff. My son really wants me. Who's very muscular, it's not as accurate. So it will show people who are more muscular to be on the more.
Got it. Okay, so it's a tool, but use it with a grain of salt. But for most people, it is pretty accurate, and just as a guide on before and after kind of thing, like where you are now.
Know your audience kind of thing. Like when the doctor's telling you if your BMI, he's going to look at you and he's going to say, do you exercise every day? Are you lifting weights? Are you doing this? Like, what is your normal thing? And he could look at you and say, like, make a muscle. Can I see? Like, you know what I mean? Like you can see, or he or she can see what is, going on with you. Like, are you muscular or you're, not as muscular?
Yeah.
And that's going to make it.
Got it. And now, I've got like 3 things I want to ask you, and I don't know which one to do first. So, just a funny thing in the doctor's office, I make sure I go to the bathroom before I get on the scale. I take off my shoes and I take off my jacket. So just so you know.
That keeps it more accurate. Well, the bathroom part is whatever, but like the shoes you can wear shoes that are like heavy shoes. You can wear a jacket, especially in New Jersey when it's cold out. Like,
it does affect. It does affect. So you can do weight loss in your doctor's office. But let's talk about body types, because you brought up apple and pear, and I don't think I've heard the apple one. And papaya is one that I've heard, and the whole I'm losing my booby do. So the other day I was like, because I didn't want to take pictures before pictures because it's embarrassing. But now I wish that I had taken some before pictures, because I know that is like a huge loss thing, which is great. And booby do, by the way, for those of you who haven't heard that, is when your tummy sticks out more than your booby do. That's the woman. And for men, it's a dicky do. So when your tummy sticks out more than your dicky do. So, just in case, new thing. Yeah. Go ahead.
So when I say apple is when someone carries it more in their belly forward. And when I say pear is when you carry it in your hips.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Actually, the healthier is in your hips, actually, than in your belly, because your heart has to work so much harder to get past all of that. So
interesting.
Not that either one should be the one to go at the moment, but because
we're
getting in healthy, but the pear shaped is actually a little healthier.
Pear is better. Papaya is not good because papaya is all over, right? Front and side. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So to sum up, if you've just tuned in and you're wondering who's in the studio, you know who's in the studio. Beth-Linder Moss, my fitness, health, and wellness staff expert, who is on today to talk about to weigh or not to weigh, scales, measuring weight loss. And you're tuned in to take my advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show in its 11th year, first day of the 11th year, May 2nd. May 1st, 2012 is when I started this wonderful self-motivating show, because I was talking to my sisters yesterday. it doesn't matter how bad of a mood or bad of an evening I had the night before, when I get up and I get to do this show, and I always feel better afterwards, because I have to practice what I teach. I cannot come on here and say, yeah, life sucks. That's why this program is about hope and happiness. so if you have any comments or questions, please do go into the chat and ask Beth about whatever you'd like to ask her. I know one question came up when you were talking about getting yourself, going to the doctor, having some goals, fitness goals. So I know it changes from age. So let's just start with the ageless woman. If you're listening right now and you're motivated by this conversation to stop that every day, I'll do it tomorrow, or it's too late for me, or that ship has left the station. Wait, train and berth. Right. And you're like, okay, I will try, because Dr. Marissa was, put the moose on the table with her own journey. So, okay, if she can do it, I can do it. What what would you advise a woman who is pear, apple, or papaya, and men, to do like week one? Let's make it real. Week one, what would you, as their coach, advise them to do? Isn't that a great question?
That is for weight loss. The first thing, first of all, is goals. Like, you really need to set, what are your personal goals? And it's short-term and long-term, though, because the long-term goal is, I want to lose 20 pounds, right? But you're not going to lose 20 pounds tomorrow. So what can we do today to break it down so that you can get to that 20-pound? You need to then set small goals, which could be like a weekly goal. So that would be my suggestion. If someone, and a lot of times, a lot of people have a really hard time getting in their water. So, I would definitely talk to each person individually, because this is all very individual, and all getting to goals is also very individual. How can we get there? The plan that we make to get there. But the one thing on every single person's journey, whether or not you are at your goal weight or trying to get to your goal weight, is that everyone needs to get their water in. I feel like, when I say water and fluids, it's non-caffeinated, non-sugar, water, because the water is going to actually help flush you, help everything move through. And you also have to make sure that you're not drinking all your water at night. Okay. If you all of a sudden it's like 9 o'clock at night and you have realized you haven't drank anything and you're going to go drink a gallon of water, you're going to be up all night. So don't do that. So try and separate your water throughout the day. Right. You don't want that to happen, because then it ruins your night. And then you're gonna be like, I'm not drinking the water anymore. But you want to make sure you do get your water. And that's one thing that I think a lot of people have a hard time with. And that is to get your water in. But you do need to break down goals, and then make your goals and then break them down into much smaller goals. And there is my book coming up.
I haven't done this before. So yeah. Great. I love the colors, which is the color of our poster. Now I understand why you wanted that. Yeah. So that's great advice. So you have a long-term goal, and that's where we fuel the billion-dollar industry of, lose weight fast. It's not instantaneous. You cannot, it's not healthy to lose 19 pounds in a week, and all those ads that say, drink this, don't eat that, and you'll lose 20 pounds. That's not healthy, right? So It's a long-term goal, weekly goal. So how much water would you say is the goal per day?
You need to, you want to get in normally the goal is like half your body weight in ounces of water, but not to exceed 100 ounces. So just say you weighed 100 pounds, you would take in 50 ounces of water, right? But if you weigh 250, 250 pounds, you don't want to take in more than 100 ounces because it's a lot on your body at that point.
So I would even suggest not even go to that number. I do stepwise. So I say, what are you drinking right now? I'm not drinking any water. Well, then good. 1 glass tomorrow and add 2 glasses the next day and 3 glasses the next day.
Yeah. But what I also suggest is like some people like to walk around those really big jugs. Have you seen those with all of that, like countdown? For some people, I think that works. For me, it doesn't work for me. When I look at that ginormous jug, I am like, oh my God, I'm getting nowhere fast, right? Uh-huh. For me, I would rather take all these water bottles and be like, I need to drink 4 of these a day or 5 of these a day. And that to me is like easier. But for some people, it's actually, they like the big jug and they're like to watch it go down, 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 down. And so, it just get to see that their progress. For me, my progress is better by the water bottle. But
yeah, got it.
However,
before I take this book off, tell us about your book and the kind of person that would benefit having your book here.
So every person will benefit from having Think Healthy, Be Healthy, because it is going to help you be the best version of you. So it doesn't matter if you're a guy or a girl, even if you're at the weight that you want to be. It's not a weight loss journey only. It's just getting to a better place for yourself. It is learning how to feel good mentally and physically. It is sometimes it's also doing the hard things of stepping out of your comfort zone, because sometimes we are at the point where we're like, I'm happy that I'm fine. But sometimes we're also like, I wish for me, wrote a book. If I didn't write that book, then I wouldn't have stepped out of my comfort zone. I had to get out of my comfort zone. So it's teaching you how to get out of your comfort zone. It's thinking positive. It's learning to really like and love yourself. It's helping you become, better in your own, feeling better in your own skin, right? So this book is going to help guide you. It's going to give you, fitness, nutrition, sleep as well. It gives you a mental, all of it that you can think of. It is a well-balanced lifestyle. What we spoke about last week actually is the whole well-balanced lifestyle. And that's really what this book is. It's not necessarily, I just want to lose weight. You want to lose weight, it's going to help you. You want to start fitness, it's going to help you. You want some better sleep ideas, it's going to be in there as well. You want to feel better about yourself, it's going to be in there. You want nutrition, it's in there. You want recipes, it's also in there. There's also workbooks in there. It's all in there. So it is for every person. It is not just for somebody who wants to lose weight and get fit. It is for everybody. But if that's part of your goal, that is in there as well.
Great. And it's how much?
How much is it? You can get it. It's on Amazon. Think Healthy, Be Healthy. It's $19.99.
$19.99. Okay,
yeah.
Cool. So there you have it. You want to get started? Her book would be a great place to start, to give you that guide. If you are temporarily money and energy short, you can always go to her Instagram, her TikTok, hundreds of thousands of.
You can also get if you just download it, it's actually I think it's only 99 cents when you download it.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Yeah. There you go. So but no excuses.
If you want a physical copy, it's more.
Yeah, you can get it signed and all of that. So
yeah, you can get daily workouts, you could get workouts, you get nutrition tips by going to my Instagram, which is Beth_Linder_Moss, or you go to my TikTok, which is at BethMoss2. And you could get all of it, both of those. So you're going to get like workouts, nutrition tips, yoga tips, things like that as well. All of it is there.
Fantastic. I didn't know yoga tips too. Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, I actually wrote a yoga certification for a franchise on HIIT yoga, which is high intensity interval training and doing yoga at the same time. So you basically get like a cardio and a yoga workout all at once. And I wrote it for a very large yoga franchise. So.
Oh, It's like the hot yoga on steroids. It sounds like.
But it's not done in a hot room. But you do sweat a lot. It's just not done in a hot room, though.
Yeah, I don't
But
know.
yeah.
I stick to my balanced Tai Chi Gong. Easy, easy does it. But that's great. So there you go. You get free resources. You got a 99-cent resource. You've got a 19.99. It's not a lot to begin. I think the most important thing is your decision. Do you want to step into your best life? You can do it 20 years from now, or you can do it now. And I guarantee you 20 years from now, it's going to be a lot more difficult. The habit of letting yourself go is a habit. I know that as a psychologist, you are your habits. And there's a lot of teachers who I interviewed. I knew I was going to forget his name. It'll come back. But huge. And he's like, we're wired now to wake up and do exactly the same thing over and over and over again. So if you really want something to change, you have to change. So if you get up and go and there's, Krispy Kremes, then that's your habit. If you go and get, go through drive-through, I'm so grateful that I am horrible. I keep missing windows when I go through drive-through. So I don't go to drive-through simply because I embarrass myself almost every time. So, but let's change habits. You can change your habit right now. Go and get Beth-Linder Moss's book, start that practice. And stay tuned to our show here. You can go to YouTube and get all of our past shows. Beth's been on now for a number of weeks.
Yeah.
So there's a playlist specifically. You can go listen to her tips on all kinds of things we've talked about. And all of that's free, as well as her TikTok and Instagram. All right. So let's see. We talked about how to scale or not to scale, personality plus other ways to measure weight loss or other ways to measure healthy you. We've talked about all different fruits. Okay, I got one.
Okay.
Why is it so forking easy for men to, once they've decided to lose weight, it's almost like unfair that men seem to lose weight so much easier than women? Like, that is so unfair.
It is unfair. I totally agree. Many times men actually will have more weight to lose. So I think it comes off a little bit quicker sometimes as that. But and the more weight anyone has to lose, sometimes it comes off a little faster. When you only have 15 pounds to lose, it doesn't come off as fast as when you have 50 pounds to lose. It just starts to come off a little bit quicker. And those last 10, 15 pounds, those ones that give us that, oh my God, why can't I, those ones that give us all that headache, those ones are the harder ones to come off. So
is that just your body telling you that this is just the way it is?
I don't know that that's true. I just think that we got rid of the easy stuff. So now we might have to work a little harder to get to where we are. We probably at that point, it's kind of like the same thing we've been talking about, step out of your comfort zone. So maybe it's working out a little bit harder. It doesn't have to be longer, but maybe push yourself a little bit more on that workout, or something with your nutrition. Maybe you've been stuck and you've been following the same exact nutrition. Maybe you just need to switch it up. Maybe you went to intermittent fasting, right? Sometimes your body just gets used to what we're doing. So we just need to change it up. Sometimes just carb cycling. It could be a carb cycling. It could be intermittent fasting. It could just be.
What's carb cycling?
Carb cycling. What is carb cycling? Carb cycling is when some days you have high carbs and some days you have low carbs or no carbs at all, so that your body actually doesn't get used to it being a steady thing. So every day you're not eating carbs throughout the day, or not necessarily, not that that's the only thing that you're eating, but on some days when you don't give it carbs or some days you don't give it fats, your body's not sure what to do. So it has to metabolize it. But when it's used to a steady state, it knows exactly what you give it at every single time. Every day at 12 o'clock, you have a salad. Every day at 3 o'clock, you're having, a protein shake. And then at 6 o'clock, you're having salmon for dinner. It knows. And then it just gets steady and it's there. But when you start to switch it up, and some days you have some carbs and some days you don't have fats, and you start to kind of trick your body and it doesn't really know what's happening, then it starts to metabolize a little bit better sometimes.
Wow, I love learning something new. If you've just tuned in, we've still got eyeballs. Glad that you're here. This is Step Up to Your Best Life on Tuesdays, my special series with co-host
Beth-Linder Moss
and Dr. Marissa on Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show. And we're talking about how to kickstart and monitor and reward yourself, not with food or a Krispy Kreme when you're doing well. That is actually, as silly as that sounds, I know that when I've hit some goals on losing weight, my first thought is, oh, good, now I can go and have something that I know is not that good for me.
I like to tell people to get maybe a jar, and you put money in, and then when you hit your goals, you could go buy a massage or something that will treat yourself to something that maybe you wouldn't have done.
Instead of eating something you haven't been able to eat, which could trigger you back on. Is there any truth to, because I do on YouTube, I get the weight, I've been doing the one, for the upper arm thing, and the ads that'll come up, and there's one particular guy, and he's almost always naked, at least from the waist up. And he's constantly talking about if you're working out every day and you're doing it and you're still not losing weight, it's because you're not, stop working out that way because it's your body type or something. Anyways, I never listened all the way through, but the principle is counter the logical, if you want to lose weight, if you want to get in shape, you eat more healthy and you exercise more or smarter or start exercising altogether. So that is the conventional wisdom around weight loss, getting yourself in shape. His message, and I'm sure there's other ones out there, trying to sell whatever they're trying to sell, that is not the convention. That is an old conventional wisdom whose wisdom is out of time. So speak to that for me, because I've always wondered about that guy.
So I will say that the real way is, according to American College of Sports Medicine and all of the journals that are out there, to stick with what we're talking about, which is to continue to exercise and eat healthy. But you can switch up the way you exercise. So you don't always do the same thing every single day. Your body gets used to it. What I was just talking about with the same as your nutrition. Okay. It does get used to it. So switch it up. So you do strength days. You do cardio days. You do your cardio day could be a different kind of cardio. Like one day, maybe your cardio day is that you're doing elliptical. Maybe the next day you're on a bike. Maybe the next time you're going for a jog or a hike. Things like that. Like switch up what you're doing, so you're not doing the same thing all the time, so that you are engaging different muscles, so that it's not like a muscle memory and it just so used to doing that all the time, because then you can get stagnant. So I would definitely say that doing different types of exercise, switching it up, definitely need to include strength, which we have spoken about before, because you need cardio and you need strength. So you definitely need to incorporate all of that. But I would say that.
And I'm going to have to interrupt you because we are out of time. That was your final word. We went real fast today. Great information. Thank you so much, Beth-Linder Moss. I want to just absolutely get you here tomorrow. All y'all, tomorrow is Dr. John Gray. Men are from Mars. Women are from Venus. He was here twice in my first year. 11th year now. We're going to kick it off strong. He's going to talk about his iron penis is one of the things. His new book, Beyond Mars and Venus. How's that for a shocker? And how at age 71 he is very sexually active. And for anyone who thinks they're too old to enjoy sex, you have to tune in tomorrow. He will be in studio live. It's all about balance. Peace in, peace out, world peace through inner peace. Dr. Marissa reporting live from her loving room. Now go and have the best day ever. See you tomorrow. Thanks, Beth.